Hey there, Math 8. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. Today we're going to look at our lesson 1.3, Operations with Negatives. So today our objective is to be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide with negatives, also known as integers. These are just a few key points that you should already know. I've got a few things different that I've learned over the past few years, so I'm going to teach you those too. When you are adding integers, you're going to think of this song, same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the larger value, then you'll be exact. You could also do something down here, and I'll talk about that in a second. When you multiply or divide, two negatives make a positive. You can think about Monkey Man, which is something that I've taught before in the past, but I also learned a different way to do that, and that is tic-tac-toe. And I'll explain more of that when I get down to the multiplying and dividing terms, but essentially you're just reading tic-tac-toe left to right. When you're adding, you do bigger number minus a smaller number, and then you just keep the sign of the bigger number, which still relates back up here to this song. And then when subtracting a negative, make sure you're changing to adding a positive, also known as keep, change, or adding the inverse. Okay, so what we're going to do here, and this is a little bit funky with the formatting. Let's go ahead and pause now, see if you can figure out what these three are equal to, and when you're done, click play. All right, so we've got our first one, negative 27 plus 18. This is a larger number, so we are gonna use the same sign as that. So that means our answer is gonna be negative. And notice that these are different signs, and because they're different signs, we're going to subtract. So let's go ahead and subtract 27 minus 18. We get 9, but we're gonna keep that sign of the larger value, which is negative 9. Onward to our next one, number 2, 37 plus negative 48. Again, different signs, meaning we are subtracting. So we're just doing 48 minus 37. When you do that, you're going to get a difference of 11, but because this is the bigger sign, we're going to keep our answer as negative 11. And then our last one, again with different signs, negative 12 and 78. Again, we will subtract those. Noticing, though, that the bigger sign is a positive, which means our final answer would be a positive 66. Now we're going to be looking at some subtraction rules. Remember, with subtraction, we need to add the opposite, which is shown as before as keep, change. So 5 minus negative 29 actually means keep the 5, change subtraction to addition, and change negative 29 to positive 29. From here, you just get 5 plus 29, which is 34. Another way you can show adding the opposite, I'll do that with this second example. Keep, change. Keep negative 8, change minus to plus, change negative 3 to positive 3. This is called 2 pencil marks. Okay, so that means you could just do adding the opposite with only 2 pencil marks, and it works for every which way you want to do it. So now this is actually negative 8 plus 3. These are different signs, so we subtract them. 8 minus 3 is 5. Bigger sign is negative, so my answer is negative. Last but not least, we have this 79 minus negative 102. Again, you could keep, change it, which would mean keep 79, change minus to plus, change negative 102 to positive 102. Or you can do those 2 pencil marks. Boop, boop, it still changes it to 79 plus 102. That one, we should get 181. Okay. Next available exercise we have is with multiplication. All these are representing multiplication because if you notice, in between the number and the parentheses is nothing. So this is just a straightforward indication of all this is multiplication. So if there's never any item type showing you what to do here between a number and a parentheses, you just automatically assume it's multiplication. Just a refresher about tic-tac-toe, Monkey Man. We'll do Monkey Man first. Monkey Man, we have eyes as negatives, a positive as a mouth. For this first one, I have a negative times a negative. That means I can cover up the negative, cover up the other negative, and all that's left is a positive. Okay, so I would just do negative 5 times negative 19 will be a positive 95. Okay, if I try that with 14 times negative 9, again, try with Monkey Man. 14 is positive, so cover up the positive. 9 is negative. That means my answer has to be negative 14 times negative 9 is negative 126. Okay. For this last one, I'm going to show you how tic-tac-toe works. Tic-tac-toe is where you're going to set up a tic-tac-toe board and create a diagonal of positives. All the other blanks you're going to fill with negatives. Tic-tac-toe works when you read it from left to right. A positive times a negative is a negative. Second row, a negative times a positive is a negative. And third row, negative times a negative is a positive. So here when we have negative times positive, that's the very first row. Negative times positive is equal to negative. So you just type in your 13 times 25 and you get negative 325. Okay. Tic-tac-toe will work also for dividing. Same with monkey man. So let's go ahead and try that with our last section, number 4. Again, maybe take the time now to pause the video, see what you can do on your own. When you're done, click play. You can try either monkey man or tic-tac-toe to help you remember all of your rules. All right, so let's try negative 48 divided by negative 8. That's a negative divided by negative, which automatically means positive. So my answer for this one's positive 6. 56 divided by negative 7 is negative 8. And negative 100 divided by 10 is negative 10. Hopefully that helped review your operations with negatives, with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. That is the conclusion of our notes today. Thanks so much for tuning in.